Alright guys, this is part 2 of how to make a $20 paracord bracelet for $1.25. If you've seen part 1, it means you have your buckle already rounded off. Let me see if I can focus this. Basically you want this as comfortable as possible for the wearer, so you want to round off these edges. They're a little sharp because I don't think they were made for paracord bracelets. They're made for webbing. So you've got your strap, you cut off that extra piece of plastic that's right here, another extra loop, and you rounded it off. That should be comfortable, so you put that on the side. Part 2 will be how to prepare your paracord to start weaving. Let's go with green today. It's a little more visible. The first thing you want to do, and this is kind of important, is to cut off all the fraying edges and burn them. Now some of the tools you're going to need is going to be a lighter, some sharp scissors. This one happens to have a measuring tape in it. Some needle nose pliers. And these become important because when weaving this stuff through these little loops, you're going to need to smash the ends of this. And I think I do that with all of them because it just keeps it nice and neat. Okay, so once you've cut it, and you're going to be doing this a few times in the process, you are going to burn the edge. I've noticed that if you bring the edge to the very top, to the orange part, it'll tend to turn it black. If you keep it on the bottom edge, it'll give you a nice color and keep it the color of the paracord. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to measure is the inside straps that go around the wrist. For an average size wrist like myself, I tend to have an average size wrist, you're going to want 4 feet of paracord, or 2 feet of paracord, and we're going to double that up, so it's going to be 2 strands of 2 feet. So what I do is I take a measuring tape and measure out, that's 2 feet there. I measure out, here it is, I measure out 4 feet. I cut at 4 feet, and I immediately burn everything. This keeps the paracord nice and tight, because if you don't, it starts getting kind of lumpy, for those of you that have worked paracord before. So anyway, you don't want to burn it too much, you just want enough to be able to crimp it down. You're going to fold it in half. You're going to cut again, and these will be your 2 inner strands of the paracord that basically go around the wrist. So you're going to want to burn these also, and that prevents them from fraying, and it makes it easier to work with. And like I said, you're going to have to get them in through that buckle, so you want to kind of clamp them down. Maybe not enough. Let's see. The higher you hold it on the lighter, the darker it's going to get. Sometimes it's better to be patient and use the bottom, but we might be cutting this off anyway, so it's no big deal at the end when you're fitting it. Okay, so once you've got that done, you're going to end up with two 2-foot strands of paracord. Next thing you want to do is measure this for the person that you're going to make the paracord bracelet for. So, if I'm making it for myself, I'm going to get an idea of how big the bracelet's going to be. From there, you want to adjust this piece. This will be the middle, and this will be the outer. This will be what you'll be looping around the bracelet. I'll just show you an example because it's hard to explain. So, you take your buckle, you put this through the top, loop it, and then run this underneath like this, creating a loop. Once you got it down, you want to cinch it down as tight as you can. And that gives you that nice tight appearance, and it's going to be more comfortable also for the wearer. Once you've done this, you're going to want the shorter of the 2 strings. You want that in the middle. So just move that over and leave it in the middle. Take your second piece, and kind of measure it around the same length as that one. ensuring that your shorter end is going to be in the middle to match the other one. You'll loop it. And if you need to, you can either use your needle nose pliers to pull this through if the paracord is kind of thicker. What I've noticed is some paracord is thicker than other paracord. I think, I'm not really sure if it affects the price, but some comes a lot thicker than the other. I just got some pink stuff that a lot of people have been asking for, and it's really thick. Okay, so this is what we end up with. Basically the two shorter ends in the middle and the two longer ends on the outside. Okay, so you can set this aside. So this is what's going to be going around your wrist. So you want just a rough estimate of your wrist size with the inner strands, and then the outer ones will be looping through this side of the buckle. Alright, so you put that aside. The next thing you're going to need is the actual paracord that's going to wrap around that you're going to be weaving. So again, you want to burn the tips off. This is kind of important, the burning of the tips, like I said, so that you don't fray it, and it makes it easier to work with, and also it doesn't distort the paracord itself and get it all warped up. So for an average sized person, you're going to probably need about 8 feet of paracord of this non-gutted. So let's measure that out. That's 3 and 4. 5, 6, 7, and let's go. So basically the tools you need are a sharp pair of scissors, measuring tape that goes to at least 12 feet, the needle nose, and your lighter. Once you've got your 8 feet, we cut it, we burn it as always. And this stuff catches on fire sometimes and starts burning on its own. You got to be careful with that because it will drip and it'll burn you pretty good. So now we can set everything aside. We want the middle point. We don't want the middle point of this 8-foot strand. And that's what you'll begin working from and weaving. Alright guys, we're all set for stage 2. We have our the bracelet portion of it nicely tight with your 2 feet sections. The middle shorter, the outer longer, so that you can weave this through the buckle. We've rounded out the buckle itself, and we've cut an 8-foot section of paracord to weave it around our bracelet. So that's where I'll leave you guys, and we'll start section 3 after this. Thanks.